Hello there, Tyrant here, and I just finished watching episode. I don't remember the number of this episode, but the Ancient Magus Bride. I still cannot say that if I tried, but anyways, so we're following up after last week's episode, where Chise was able to make that ointment for the old man, and finally see his love, his other love, anyways, and well, if you remember, like it was like really intense when she like coughed up that much blood. It was like whoa. After the King of Fairies, I think if I remember right, showed up and requested the ointment back and all that. That was intense. So he requested that Chise get medical attention in the fairy kingdom. And if you remember in the first, they mentioned this in the early episodes. She's tempted to go to this world and everything. We learned a little bit more about it because when she meets a changeling who was raised as a human in we'll say the human world. Oh yeah, the human world, and became a doctor, and then she kind of came back here and everything. What's interesting is if I'm remembering right, because this is right after this I just literally watched it, so I would have to rewatch it just to get my facts right. But like her husband was a human who ended up coming to the fairy world, and so he changed. So I don't know exactly. I gotta rewatch it, but it was interesting. So continuing on, there's two halves to this story. The first half is Chise getting medical attention from her like excessive use of magic and all this stuff. What was really like crazy is the whole pool part of this episode. I she I didn't see that coming. I thought what, like the doctor like was literally drowning her, and I was like, whoa, what's happening here? Like what? And then it led to this like crazy life and death thing, and what I'm enjoying about it, and I don't know if many people might find this annoying, but you know a problem can't be fixed immediately. Mostly her sense of depression and like self-loathing. You know, there's been, you can say that, like why she's still feeling like this. No, it's something that would take time, like would take time to, like really get that feeling of that those feelings to kind of not go away, but at least suppress them at to some point. So that moment when it's like this is kind of a good thing because she's dying, and the only thing that kind of brings her back is her will to live, and it's this is a good visualization of pushing forward with your everything. So it was like, yeah. And so for what it was a very 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 intense up scene right there, and I caught me by surprise. um Now, moving to the second part of the episode, we leave. Well, they had to leave. Elias, Chise, and fuck Ruth had to go to the fairground. So leaving Silky to be in charge of the house, and then it's kind of like the second half is all about Silky, and Silky has always been that character that's been in the background, never really saying anything and everything, and she finally gets some screen time, and I thoroughly enjoyed that because we get to learn a little bit of her backstory and what she is. I actually was thinking like what kind of fairy is she? So apparently she's a banshee, um, who seems to uh be like a being who kind of occupies homes and families and quote unquote haunts them. Um, but besides that, we don't know much about that. So it's, but we get to see her from this old broken down house, and we just follow her journey. Um, trying to find a new place and everything. And as we learned earlier, like once the fairy kind of is gone, they kind of turn to foam. And yeah, so when we see her kind of like in a different form, or different clothing and everything, we see her just finding a journey on trying to find a new place, and then becoming the Silk we know today. And the house that we ended up, so it had to be a lot of time have passed between her journey and everything. It was it's really interesting to also hear her talk. I'm glad we got to see that. And we kind of got what's good is also we got a huge like skip in time because of how time fluctuates in both the human and fairy realm. So we like it was summer and we skipped fall and went straight to winter. And it's from what I saw in the previews, next week's gonna be Christmas. So yay! Christmas episode for the show. We'll see how that turns out. But besides that, like, I'm glad that they did kind of a silky-ish episode. I wanted her to have a little bit more progression. Oh my god, what's this? But no, yes. I'm glad that we got this episode. Because it's more progression and more of development for characters. And so yeah, those are kind of my thoughts for this episode. So thanks again for watching. Until next time.